Okay, I am going to talk about the social media one. Who's doing the walk and talk challenge at the moment? Congratulations. If you're not, it's not too late to jump in. Basically, the Walk and Talk Challenge is our August Legends Lab thing. Basically, you're being challenged to go for a walk every day and record a video and publish it to the big wide world. Boom. This has obviously got a number of purposes. One, getting more confident on camera, creating content, getting better at articulating your message, getting more views, getting more followers, and hopefully, if you're following the God prompt that I've given you all, getting some more leads or inquiries or starting sales conversations or even hopefully getting some sales, right? Because not only are you hopefully getting seen in the moment and people are watching, I know they don't like everything. Who likes every post they scroll past? Of course we don't. People are watching. But more importantly, the other thing that's watching is the algorithm. And it's now indexing everything that we post. And now everything that we post, even if it was posted 20 years ago, yes, I have had my Facebook account that long, it is now going to bring up anything we've published that matches those search results. If they go to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, who's the best osteopath in my town? If that osteopath in that town has been publishing content anywhere on blogs or on socials, ChatGPT now says, oh, Sarah Cordiner, the osteopath in the Gold Coast, is the best. The AI is only finding that information by what's published on the internet. So this is why having content is important. And we have to get over ourselves and stop worrying about what people think if we want to be the one that's coming up in those results. And that's why I've forced everyone to do the walk and talk challenge, because it doesn't matter if you're casual, you've got your sunnies on to cover up the fact you're not wearing any makeup today, and you have no excuse but to create content so that you're forcing the system and human beings to find you. Now, a lot of questions have come up about what is best on social media. Should it be a reel? Should it be a story? What time of day should I post? How many posts should I put up there? Bum. Insert every single fighting goo poo that exists out there. This not only changes every single week as the social media platforms change and update their algorithm. Meta actually never published this information regarding how their best reach works, because every single country is often got different settings and different algorithms, but they are often A, B, C, D, E, F, multiple split testing the way that people's reach works and the way that people consume on socials. So if anyone actually ever tells you this is how it should be done, they're completely making it up, because the information isn't published. What we have to do again is zoom back to what I just said. What is the point? Whenever I do anything, I always imagine. I actually got kicked out, by the way, of a history class when I was 14 because I asked, what's the point in learning this? And I wasn't saying it to be obnoxious. I was trying to understand the purpose of the learning. So I still to this day, for anything I sit down and do, any task I begin, I go, what is the friggin' point of this task? Why am I doing this? Socials, for me, one, I actually enjoy creating content. So I just get a dopamine hit from it because I just love writing and creating. But the point of it as a business owner is to make sure that you are consistently being seen, because the person who's seen the most is the person who's going to get booked the most. But the second point for me is not just the in the moment thing, it is that long-term search result. If, for instance, you are choosing between me as a course creation coach and someone else as a course creation coach, right? And you scrolled through each of our socials, and I've got content talking about course creation that goes back 10, 20 years, and the other person has never posted anything about course creation, but yet they're 10 times more qualified than me. They might have 10 years more experience than me. They might have way more money than me in a fancier office than me. Who are you going to pick? You're probably going to pick the person who you got to see videos from, who you got to learn from, who you got tips from, who's clearly been talking about this thing in a long time. And after 4 or 5 videos, you've got a really good feel as to who they are. That is actually how human beings make buying decisions. They're not going to actually compare the person who has the most experience and qualifications and say, I'll logically pick that one. They'll pick the person who they think they've got the most familiar with. It's familiarity that makes us make decisions. It's familiarity that makes us feel safe. It's familiarity that tells us that it's okay to go and make that decision because we know them now. It is bizarre. It is illogical. It's the psychology of buying. But that is, again, the point is for that kind of searching your clients are doing. The third point of it is long-term discoverability. Again, now we've got Meta AI search has just been rolled out literally right now. It's probably not even in some of your accounts at the moment. This is where Meta AI is bringing up feeds, content that isn't necessarily right now in the moment to people who have particular interests or have shown particular interest signals by using what they're watching. But in the search bar, if they type something in, it's going to be serving them specific content that's been published with that topic. Of course, now all public social media posts, especially reels, are the ones that are coming up in and being indexed in Google search results for the humans that are typing, but it's also now fetchable by the LLMs, your ChatGPT, your Claude, your Manus, all those other AIs. So with the reel versus story, always, this is the only rule I'm going to give you, pick reels, videos, or feed posts. Yes, post stories. I post stories all the time, but stories only stay live for 24 hours. Stories are not searchable by Meta AI search. Stories are not indexable inside search manually in the Facebook platform, and stories are also not in any way indexed or referenced or searchable on the actual internet or by any other AI models. So stories really are, for me, just me sharing my everyday life, like everyday little moments. They're just, hey, here's Sarah today having fun on her dog walk. Here's Sarah today just doing a little bit of work. It's more just sharing the life of. Anything that I want to be found or seen again in the future, or I'm basically training the algorithms with, I post on my main feed. Whether it's a reel, whether it's a post, whether it's a text post, that's irrelevant. It's more about the fact that it's not a story because stories can't be found. So I think that's the main gist of it. Now, data analytics that you get on social media are quite important. If you do have a Facebook account, I recommend you have a business page to list your personal brand and your company name. Facebook business pages get terrible reach, absolutely awful engagement. The best way to think of a business page is it's basically like a web page on Facebook. It needs to exist purely for you having a listing. It comes up in search results, right? You're publishing content on it, usually from your automated social media schedulers. So for me, my business page, it exists so that it can be found. And I just auto post most of my content to those business pages using the Techmatic social media scheduler. My personal profile on Facebook, however, and everyone's personal profiles on Facebook get really good reach. Personal profiles are the real you. They're not the business listing. They're all the pages. This is a personal choice, of course, but I do recommend if you're a business person, the real you is the fact that you run a business. So I personally share everything on my personal profile. I share personal life. I share me being silly. I also share business. I promote my business and put marketing on there. I put really serious stuff on there. I will have 1 minute I'm in my bikini drinking a pina colada, and the next minute I'm doing a serious post about being the head of a university and why that's an important lesson in leadership and business, right next to each other, because I am a human being, and if you come and work with me, you're going to discover that I'm also a fun mum going through menopause and all the other things. If you are my friend, you're going to learn that I also have a business. And if you don't like the fact that I run a business that I love, then unfriend me. We're not meant to be friends, are we? So for the sake of reach, conversation, engagement, building and nurturing relationships, I would recommend you start using your personal profile more. And if you are going to go all in, like me, then what you can do on your personal profile, if any weird messages come up, just pretend you didn't see it, is I recommend you turn your personal profile, let's big this up a little bit. This is my personal profile, not a business page. Sarah Cordiner, the personal profile, you can actually switch this to what's called a professional personal profile. And all that does, it's not the blue tick thing, it's not something you have to pay for. Switching it to what's called a professional profile literally just gives you this dashboard button, which is really cool because a normal personal profile doesn't have things like these statistics. But if you just switch to professional, and you can switch it back again if you don't like it, it just gives you this data. And I switched to this when it became available about 3 years ago. Really glad I did, because I love seeing all this data. I like seeing my views, how they've changed and grown. I like being able to come in and see what content's been performing the best. Like that, all this information is in here. It shows you all this really interesting data. And that is what you then use to determine what's working best for you. I did a massive analysis on this week, actually. And for me, it says my long writing, where I waffle, I love to write. My long posts with just an image get the most engagement by far. But all the goo-poos out there say, don't ever write long text-based form stuff. It's terrible. It completely... Do not listen to what anyone else tells you is the right format. Only your data can say what's the right format for you. And you've just got to post stuff and then go and look at the patterns. And then you keep getting better at working out your style, your way, what your audience engage with, because you can't predict it, unfortunately. It just happens. So I hope that helps everyone with a little bit of a better idea around how we attack socials and how we attack content. I want to end that with, too many of us can see creating content as a job. We are all in some way educating, teaching, leading, helping, serving, contributing to a field or to an industry. I always try and get people to remember to bring back to the feeling of content creation that it's your personal stage for self-expression. If you can tap into one of humans' greatest dopamine releases, which is being creative, being in the state of creativity is scientifically proven to be one of the highest vibrational frequencies there are. If you can see this as creativity, as getting to express yourself, as getting to share things that you love, this, my darling friends, turns it into a hobby, something that you enjoy to do, rather than a task or a job that you have to do. I used to paint. Now I create with words and video clips and things like that, right? If you can see it as personal creativity and expression, it takes some of that feeling of, oh, I must post something today. And you start becoming a lot more of who you are, and it's sharing your style. I have 2 young kids, and I like to think, none of us are here forever, are we? I like to think that one day when I'm long gone, my kids and my grandkids are going to be able to scroll through my Facebook page and actually see and feel who I was. They're going to get to watch videos and be in my life with me every single day back in the 2020s, right? It's going to be really interesting for us to acknowledge when we're posting and publishing content there that it's something that actually can form that memory of us and the legacy of us too. Have fun with it. Be playful. Who are you? Bring that into your content and be freaking unapologetic about it. It's not other people that are paying your bills. It is not other people who are running your business, and it's not anyone else that has to live your life other than you. So if they've got something to say about what you've published on your own damn pages, they know where the door is. So enjoy it and be freaking wild with your content creation, because you'll get a lot more from it than just having some posts up. That's my pep talk of the day.